Hello, how are you? My name is Rebecca and I am an English teacher. And I teach English on YouTube using a method called Comprehensible Input. Now, Comprehensible Input is a learning method where I speak slowly and clearly, and I use a lot of gestures and physical things so that you can see. Now, you do not have to understand every single word that I say. You will just pick up a few words naturally here and there. Okay, so don't worry if you can't understand everything I say. This is a natural way to learn, kind of like the way babies learn English from their mothers. So today I am going to be baking. I am going to bake brownies in my kitchen. So I am in my kitchen at the minute and I am going to bake. Okay, so I'm going to show you the recipe, show you the method, and take you along with me. So if you want to make some brownies today and learn some English, then stick around. Okay, this is the best view of watching me make the brownies. So I'm going to show you the ingredients first. So we have butter, and this is Golden Hills butter. It says Irish butter because butter in Ireland is the best butter, but this butter is made in Germany. So I don't know why it's called Irish butter. It's false advertisement. But you need 200 grams of butter, 200. So that's a lot. That's from here to here. A lot of butter, so it's very unhealthy, very fatty. So 200 grams of butter. Then we also have 200 grams of chocolate, dark chocolate, yummy, and milk chocolate, con leche, milk chocolate. So 200 grams of chocolate. Next, we also have eggs, and eggs are what make brownies very gooey and delicious. So eggs are very important. So I have 4 eggs. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 eggs. So those are the wet ingredients, as you call them. Then the dry ingredients, we have brown sugar, and white sugar. Brown and white. And you mix them together and it creates delicious taste, and it's a lot of sugar, so it's very, very unhealthy, but that's okay. And then lastly, a bit of flour, but you don't want too much flour in brownies because then they become like a cake. And in my opinion, there's nothing worse than cake brownies. You want your brownies to be quite gooey, that's what I like anyway. So the first step is melting the chocolate. Melt the chocolate. So how you do that is you boil the kettle, and put the hot water in the pan, hot water in here, pan, and then you get your bowl and put it on top, and this will melt the chocolate. Okay, so I'm going to break up the chocolate. I'm going to open the chocolate and smell it. Dark chocolate has a very strong smell, very strong. And I've washed my hands. Delicious. I'm going to break the dark chocolate. Break, maybe smaller. Small. So that's the dark chocolate. Ooh, it's broken in the bowl. There's a lot. And now milk chocolate. I love milk chocolate. I could eat chocolate all day, every day. I've got a sweet tooth, so I love chocolate. It's my favorite food. I'm going to break that. It's got smaller pieces. Break that into small pieces. And I'm going to keep some chocolate because I'm going to chop chop it into little pieces and put like chocolate chips on the brownie. So I'm going to keep that for later. So I'm going to boil the kettle, 1 minute. So I have boiled the kettle. The kettle has boiled and I'm going to melt the chocolate in the pan. So I have to pour the hot water into the pan, lots of steam, and put the chocolate on top, and now the chocolate is going to melt. So I'm going to leave that for about 10 minutes to melt. So while I wait for the chocolate to melt, I'm going to measure out the dry ingredients. So I'm going to measure the sugar. So I'm going to have half white sugar and half brown sugar, and I need 330 grams of sugar. So I'm going to pour that in now. I'm going to measure it. I have measured the sugar, so I have the brown sugar and the white sugar, and I'm going to put it into the bowl. Okay, so we have the sugar. I have measured the flour, so you only need a little bit of flour, and I'm going to pour it in. Okay, now that's the dry ingredients. So I'm going to mix the dry ingredients. I only have a metal spoon, so I'm just going to mix it. So that is mixed. Now I am going to check on the chocolate. The chocolate has melted quite a lot, so now I'm going to pour the butter in. I'm going to put the butter in the chocolate. Now I have put the butter in, and obviously I should have used a bigger bowl, but when you're baking, you live and learn. But it will still melt, so just need to wait about 10 minutes for that to melt. While we're waiting for the butter to melt, I've got the dry ingredients, and I'm going to mix in the eggs. So I have 4 eggs, and I'm going to crack the egg. So we have crack one egg, 2 eggs, very nice, 3 eggs, a lot of eggs, number 4, and that is 4 eggs. Do you want to have a look? The yolks and the whites. And those are the egg shells, So now I'm going to mix or whisk. You whisk eggs. So I'm going to whisk the eggs. Back to the chocolate, and it has melted. So that is the butter and chocolate. Very, very unhealthy. And it has melted together. So I'm going to pour that into the flours and eggs. So this is the flour, sugar and eggs, and it's like a yellow color, and it kind of looks like cake. And now it's going to turn brown when I pour the butter and chocolate in. I have also just turned the oven on to 200 degrees to preheat. So the oven is getting preheated, and I'm going to pour the chocolate in. So that is all mixed together, and I also chopped up little bits of chocolate that I'm going to pour in to give it a bit more crunch. And then I have got tin foil inside a baking tray. Now I should be using baking paper, but I don't have any, so I'm going to use tin foil. So now I'm going to pour the chocolate into the baking tray. So the mixture should have quite a gooey texture, and it kind of falls like that. So I'm going to pour it in. Okay, the mixture is ready to go into the oven, so I'm going to put it into the oven. So it's all hot, and I think it goes in for about half an hour. So this is the hardest part, waiting for it to cook. So I have just washed the dishes and cleaned up, and the brownies are in the oven. So the hardest part is waiting. So I now have to wait half an hour before I can try one of my brownies. I hope they're going to be really yummy because I love brownies, and I will show you when they are ready. If you would like to try and make these brownies, I will put the recipe here so you can have a look at the recipe and give it a go. Let me know how they taste, how they go. I really love to bake. I love baking and I love cooking. I probably prefer, I don't know which I prefer. Cooking is easier because you don't have to be as precise. You don't have to measure because you can just throw things in and usually it's fine. But with baking, I think baking is more of a science because you have to measure very exactly. Because I made these brownies a few weeks ago and I didn't measure that well and they were really bad. They were like cake and I hate cake brownies. So I think baking is a lot more difficult because it's like a science. You have to get it right. You have to have the exact ingredients, but whenever you get it right, it's so delicious and it's so yummy. I love baking. I like to make cookies and brownies and biscuits and cake. So usually I like to bake my own cakes for birthdays and things. So let me know in the comments, do you like to bake or cook? Do you prefer baking or cooking? Another thing about baking is that you can burn the food really easily. I have burnt so many things in my past. Burnt cakes come out black, and that's probably because I never set a timer. I actually haven't set a timer. Oh, okay, it's 12:30 at the minute and I'm going to take them out at 1 o'clock. And that's probably why I burn things, because I don't put a timer. So I need to start doing that. Do you guys set a timer? It would make more sense. While I am waiting for my brownies to bake, I'm just letting you know that I also teach private one-to-one English lessons online on Google Classroom. So Google Meet. So if you are interested in practicing your conversation or practicing your confidence with English, then the link is in the comments or in my description, and you can also email me to tell me exactly what you would like to learn before your first lesson. So I like to teach in a friendly and natural way, and you don't have to be embarrassed to make mistakes in front of me. I am also a language learner. I am living in Spain learning Spanish, and it's very difficult to speak another language, even when it's in your head. So like I have the Spanish in here, but it doesn't come out here. Do you know what I mean? I feel too embarrassed to make a mistake in front of natives when I'm in shops or restaurants, so I can lack confidence. But I have started taking Spanish conversation lessons with someone in Spain, and I think it's really boosted my confidence because I practice with them not making mistakes, and they help me, and then that makes me more confident in front of natives or other people in real life. So I think that's really important if you do feel like that. So if you are interested having private one-to-one lessons with me, the link is in the comments. Remember how I said I burn everything that I bake? I burnt the brownies. So I've opened the window to get the smell out. They are black, and hopefully they still taste good. I'm going to cut the top off of them, but they have burned. So I'm very sad and disappointed in myself. So I'm very annoyed that I've burned the brownies, but I'm going to just show you what they look like and taste one for you. So the inside of the brownie looks very delicious and the bottom looks nice, but the top has burnt. So I'm just going to cut the top layer off and give it a taste, and it's a bit sticky there. So let's give it a taste. So I've cut the top bit off and I'm going to try it. They're still warm and I love when they're still warm. Very delicious actually. With the burnt bit cut off, it tastes very good. So thank you so much for watching my video, and thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope you learned lots of English. And if you do want to make this recipe, remember to set an alarm and to not burn them. Thank you, see you later.